Use LessonLoop as a way to measure that engagement and then see if that's actually giving results on their quizzes.
How did the change in instruction and the class experience help you learn better?
Help us be more focused. Instead of her just telling us what to do and like reading out the book and us finding it ourselves, she focused on us more.
Part of my professional responsibility that I'm choosing to focus on is student engagement and relationship building. I've worked really hard over the last 6 months to build this relationship with these kids. So this is actually part of my evaluation, that is part of my instructional practices evaluations, and to see how in my professional responsibilities. So by using, and I'm intentionally using LessonLoop to give data to that. So this was a lot more about a reflection for me of how am I doing and what can I do to make this better for them. They know whether you mean it or not, and they'll call you on it too. But to continue to show up and continue to let them know that you're serious and that you care, that's all they really want. And being able to be intentional about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and giving them avenues of feedback and be like, yes, this is working for me, or no, it's not, in a safe way is important to them. They want to have a voice in things. They just don't know how to go about it. So I think this kind of gives them a, here, use this. And it works. With LessonLoop, it keeps it intentional without feeling overwhelming and without feeling like they're being put on the spot. Especially my students don't like to be called out. They don't like to be put on the spot. So having it in this way, and it also gives voice to the quiet ones, the ones that tend to fly under the radar when you do open discussion, hey, let's sit down and reflect on this. And it forces them to have individual thought and individual responses instead of groupthink that happens when you get 20 kids together and they all start popcorning. And I think the anonymity gives the kids the freedom to do that. I have no way of knowing who did, who did not, who scored what, who did not. We were talking about the Constitutional Convention and the different compromises and stuff that came out of the convention. And we made this foldable. And like each flap has different information. So this is what that LessonLoop was about. Like, did you like this? How did this work for you? Did this keep you engaged, etc.? And apparently the answer was yes, even though they complained drastically about it. It was like, oh, miss, why are we doing this? It's so like, because it worked. As a result, I saw a huge jump in their quizzes and scores and stuff on that side of it too. Next week, we're doing the 3 branches of government, so the legislative, judicial, and executive branches of government. So we are going to do a foldable, but the way I give them the information is going to be different this time. So I want to see how the feedback and response from that. And then I'm trying to decide, I want to do a blending of these reading comprehension questions and because I know foldables work. I know these kind of work. I want to see how I can keep playing with this combination and get them to the point that they can just sit and just actively take notes without having these extra pieces to it. I'm just honest with them. I straight up tell them, hey, this is on that lesson loop we did with the cool little alien thing, blob. This is what you told me works. Your test scores show me that this works. So this is how we're going to keep doing things.